Welcome, my friends, to Walking the Candy Aisle. Today I've got another review for you. It is Reese's Pieces. Hey everyone, I'm Jeff, and today Reese's Pieces, we're going to have a look at them. An interesting candy, to be sure, and one that's sort of been on my list to get to for quite a while now. So Reese's Pieces are very similar to M&M's. I'm just going to say that right off the top because that's kind of one of the most distinguishing factors about them. Reese's is obviously a Hershey's sub-brand, while M&M's is a Mars product. So that's kind of the big distinction right off. But obviously, also Reese's Pieces is peanuts, and until recently, well, until the mid '90s, M&M's didn't have a peanut SKU. So Reese's Pieces came out from the Hershey's Company in 1978. They sort of struggled to release it nationally, have it try and get it catch on. M&Ms were obviously huge already back in the 70s. And it wasn't until 1982 when director Steven Spielberg, some of you may have heard of him, came to the Mars Company and they said, "Hey, we're doing this movie. It's called E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial, and I'd like to use M&Ms in the movie product placement to offset the cost." Very common practice now in movies, but it was really wasn't done back then. So this was kind of a pioneering move by him. Mars wasn't comfortable with it. I don't know why. The man who brought us Jaws could not, delicately place delicious candies in his movie, but they decided to pass on it. So Spielberg went to Mars's competitor, Hershey's, and he went to them saying that he wanted to use Hershey's Kisses. But Hershey's had another idea. They said, "Well, why don't you pick up this one, Reese's Pieces? It's similar to M&M's, and they'd been trying to get it out and get it to catch on." So Reese's Pieces made their way into E.T., and that's when it really took off like gangbusters. This became a very popular candy after that, and it's sort of one of those sort of very well-known Hollywood stories about the sort of the woes of M&Ms. Not that M&Ms are having any trouble, particularly, but what they could have, should have, would have done. Anyway, that's how we have Reese's Pieces these days. They are similar to M&Ms. They're a peanut butter candy in a crunchy shell. That peanut butter candy part is important. This is not real peanut butter in these things. Sort of similar in size to M&Ms, but then they're filled with something called pinoche. It's like peanut butter. It's peanut butter-esque, but it's what's it called? It's like a peanut meal, actually. No, not that. This here. It's sugar, and then what is it here? Partially defatted peanuts. So it's basically peanut butter with a lot of the oils stripped from them, and it makes it easier to work with, apparently. And that's always been sort of a thing with working with peanuts in candies, that it's a tough thing to do, which is why you might see, like, even in your Reese's peanut butter cups, which are real peanut butter, I believe, and certainly the M&M's peanut SKU is real peanut butter. It's just not as consistent. It's just they can be awkward and kind of lumpy and just difficult at times. And sometimes they're great, and sometimes it just doesn't it doesn't work. Whereas Reese's Pieces will always be pretty decent. They always look consistent. They're not like as lumpy bumpy as M&M's peanuts, M&M's peanut butter. And I think they're pretty good. So if I remember correctly, I haven't had them in quite a while. I really like M&M's peanut butter. So maybe it's worth it to deal with some lumpiness for a little of that. Some people think that these are Halloween, probably because they're so well associated with E.T., which was a movie that took place at Halloween. And they're in this festive sort of autumn colors, brown and yellow and orange. Although there is an Easter SKU of these as well, which I think has some sort of pastel-y colors. But I don't think they're necessarily Halloween. I mean, they sell them all year round. But why not? If you want to make them Halloween, you can. Looks basically like your typical M&M, right? Let's give one a try. So there's the inside. As you can see, thin candy shell. I wonder if that's thinner than an M&M shell. Try and get a focus on that. There. I think it might be. It feels pretty thin. And then peanut butter on the inside. Even if it's not peanut butter, it's close enough to peanut butter that I'm going to call it peanut butter. They all taste the same. Color doesn't really matter. Sort of like Smarties or something. Actually, sorry, American Smarties. Or Canadian Smarties. I find you're going to want to get a bunch of them. Unlike M&M's peanut butter, they're you need a couple of them because they're smaller, right? Than the M&M's. Sorry, I keep referencing M&M's, but it's hard to review this without comparing them. I feel like they're maybe a little sweeter, and it's not as viscous, the peanut butter. It's like more like it just tastes like peanut butter, like, you know, when you get to the end of the jar of peanut butter, when I usually like real natural peanut butter that's just peanuts basically, right? You know, and if you get to the end of the jar, there's like that bit where all the oil is pretty much gone and it just kind of gets a little like hard. That's kind of what this tastes like. Like nothing wrong with it. It's totally fine. And it's very sugary, but it's not as malleable as that, or liquidy as that first top of the jar, middle of the jar peanut butter. That's okay though. It's a candy, guys, and as a candy, I think it certainly stands on its own. I like this. I know it's not going to be to everyone's taste, and I still feel like M&M's peanut butter is better, but this is kind of a different product. I know they're in the same space, but they're really different tastes, and I could see myself wanting this on a different occasion than I would want the M&M's peanut butter. So I like it. Walking the Candy Aisle is going to rate Reese's Pieces. I'm going to rate them a solid 4 out of 5. They're not going to be for everyone, and I think some people will find them a little too sweet. But for my money, they're worth checking out. Okay? Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good one.